Hi everyone, Dawn here from Enzo's. Okay, disclaimer. I do not make videos for children. I do make some videos that might be fun for kids to watch. Great. But you will hear me swear sometimes. You will hear me use phrases that you might not like. You will hear me be very blunt and very forward. I will not tell you lies. I will not sugarcoat what's going to happen. I'm not going to pretend like it's all fun and rainbows and that you never have to do any work or any of that bullshit. There you go. I'm not going to say any of that. So if you still want to watch, keep watching. Sometimes I talk about things that I get a little heated on, and other times, they're pretty easy. Like today. Today we're going to talk about you got a new dog. Now what? Did a video a couple days ago about if you decide to get a dog, kind of picking it. Now this video is now you got it. You got this dog. It's a puppy. It's a full-grown dog. It's a 10-year-old dog. It's a senior. It's from a breeder. It's from a rescue. You got a dog. Like, that's what we're going to talk about. Now what? Now what? So if you would please throw away the positive only worlds of 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. I have that same theory. 3 is my number. However, mine looks much different. And here's what it's going to look like. The first 3 days you have that dog, you are setting a precedence as to how the rest of that dog's life is going to go. If for the first 3 days your dog sleeps in bed, you create no separation, you let it bite you, you let it jump on you, you let it pee in your house, then it says, oh, okay, that's what this is about. And then it practices those behaviors that you gave it for, and you allowed for the first 3 days. It now practices it for the next three weeks. And then at the end of those 3 weeks, it says, oh, I'm going to practice some more bad behaviors because look at all these things I'm getting away with, right? I'm still cute. I'm still cute because I'm a puppy. They feel bad for me because they rescued me. They feel bad for me because of where I came from. It was a terrible situation. Whatever the situation is, you guys, you have to, the first 3 days, set what the rest of this dog's life is going to look like. If it's going to be a dog who is not going to be allowed on the furniture, then don't allow it on the furniture. I mean, it's, so many of these things I'm going to talk to you guys about, when I talk about them, you're going to be like, well, duh, Dawn, that's common sense. But it's not. I have learned over my 53 years that there is no such thing as common sense, because what's common and senseful for you is not common and senseful, obviously, for everybody. So we're really going to work on that in this video. So the common sense I'm going to give you in this video is you set the precedence the day you get the dog. This is what it looks like. If it's going to sit in your lap in the car while you're driving, which is not a good choice, then that's what you're teaching it. Whatever you do with this dog, you're teaching it that that's what you're going to do. And if you think, I feel bad for this dog, maybe you just picked it up from a shelter and you feel bad for the dog, then you are always setting that precedence that the dog, that is the story for the dog. So what I want you to do is I want you to get a dog, and I want your story to begin the moment you get that dog. That is the dog's new story. It is, I live in a beautiful home. I have wonderful people who love me and take care of me and feed me and give me everything I need. That is the dog's story. Forget about the story you want to make up in your head about the dog coming from a neglectful or abusive situation. Some dogs do come from not the best beginnings, but not all dogs, you guys. Not all dogs in shelters were abused or neglected. I'm sorry to tell you that. I have worked in the shelter system for many, many years. But that's how they get you. That's how they get you that's how they get you. They make a sad story because you're more willing to feel bad and adopt a dog if you know that there's a sad story attached to it. Many people are. I'm not saying that there aren't dogs with sad stories and that we shouldn't tell sad stories. Please do not come at me for that. What I'm saying is start your dog's story the day you get it, whether you get an 8-week-old puppy or a 7-year-old full adult dog. Like, this is the dog. Now, what do you want to teach it? Whatever you do with it is what you're teaching it. So day one, you get a new dog. You are teaching it what you want it. You can call it training, you can call it teaching, you can call it leading, you can call it whatever you want. But everything you do with that dog is a sponge, and it is taking in that information. Now, but remember this, your dog does not speak human language. It might understand something. It might know a word once you get to that level. You might get the dog and it may have been taught. We had a dog recently here at Enzo's that it was kind of aloof, but it was a hound, so hounds can be kind of aloof. The dog had just come up a few weeks prior from Mexico, a 2-year-old dog. Beautiful hound, super nice dog. But one of my girls started speaking Spanish, and the dog turned and looked because it was familiar. They were familiar sounds, familiar words. So it turned and looked at her. It was the first kind of connection we had really had with the dog, other than its food, because it was a hound. So understand that you yelling at the dog or saying sit 100,000 times is not going to teach a dog to sit. They are going to continue to guess what it is you want them to do. And they might guess right. They may sit, but it doesn't mean they actually know it. KNOW, what it is you're asking of them. So don't start with your words. Start with actions. Start with pressures. Start with putting a dog on a leash, because we live in a world where dogs have to be on leashes, you guys. I live in the country. When my dogs are home, they aren't on leashes. But when we go anywhere, they have to be on leashes. Like, it's just the world we live in, and it keeps our dogs safe, and it keeps other people safe and other dogs safe. So just understand that leashes are not bad if you use them properly, okay? Anything can be used against you. So let's just keep it at that. So teach your dog what it is you want from day one. That is my biggest advice to you if you get a new dog. Do not wait. Do not read that 3-week, 3-month, whatever that is. Oh my gosh. Like, no. Day one, you start working with the dog and you teach it what it is you want it to do. Now, some dogs are going to come to you and need some decompression time, and that's fine. But their decompression time does not happen on your lap. That is not decompressing. That's feeding information, because you're actually physically touching the dog. So if you're touching your dog, you are feeding it information. What is the information you're giving it, right? If you have a nervous, worried, kind of fearful, we'll use that term, dog, and it's sitting in your lap and it's shaking, and you're petting it and you're saying, don't worry, it's okay, it's okay. What you're actually saying to the dog, the language they hear is the touch. So you're actually saying to them, good job, keep being nervous, keep being worried, keep being anxious. Like, you're literally reinforcing that. So stop doing that. So if you have a nervous dog and you bring it into your home, let it decompress. Put it in a safe spot. That safe spot would be a kennel. Shockingly, it's going to be a kennel. Dogs are den animals. So kennels are dens, you guys. We don't use kennels here for punishment. Kennels are not punishers. Kennels are good, safe spots. So make it nice. Make it whatever they need it to be. If they tear up the bedding, don't give it bedding. But make it nice in there. Don't overwhelm them with stimuli, okay? Water, a bed, maybe a chew toy if they're a dog who wants to chew. But my guess is if it's a fearful dog, it is not going to chew. It's not going to eat food, and it is not going to chew because it's nervous, okay? Until it decompresses, then it will start eating. But also what I would do is give them food only out of your hand. Just start with that. See if they'll take it. When they start taking it from you is when you know that they're starting to ease in and they're starting to decompress and they're starting to feel a little bit safer and a little bit better. Also, a nervous dog might not poop or pee for a couple days. I know it's not great. We want it to go to the bathroom, or it might pee only in their kennel, but at least it's in their kennel, right? It's not running around the house running and peeing. Also, what you're going to do with any dog you get, whether it's nervous or not, or it's a puppy or it's a full-grown dog, is don't make it too big, their spot. Like, give him a room that he can be in with you. Obviously, they want to be with you, so make it with you. And then slowly open up that world as they know. Now, if you get a confident dog, I get it. Put a leash on that dog and show it around, but still don't go into places that you're not going to want the dog. So if you don't want the dog upstairs, don't take the dog upstairs. Again, this is that whole like should be just common sense, but it's not. I'll have people who come to me who go, the dog has the run of the house, but we don't know why it poops and pees up in our bedroom. And I say, well, why was it ever allowed in your bedroom, right? Kennels, where should you put kennels? By a door. Put the kennel in a room where it's going to go right outside, especially if you're potty training the dog. So it goes straight from the kennel to outside, not in your bedroom. Please don't do that. Please don't start off with your dog in your bedroom. Your dog has to learn some separation from you. And the easiest time to separate is at night, right? Especially if you work from home. So you want the dog to learn healthy boundaries of separation so that you're setting them up to be successful. If you're with your dog 24/7, think of all the pandemic dogs, you guys. All of you got dogs during the pandemic. You were with your dog 24/7. End of the pandemic happened. You had to go back to work, and your dog was a mess, total mess. Didn't know what to do because it didn't know what to do without you because you never taught it separation. Separation is normal. It is what happens, right? Your dog needs to know when they're with you, and this is what they're doing. Be predictable, and then when they go, you go. They do a predictable thing. I would say from day one, they're in a kennel when you go. Don't leave them out with the possibility that they could chew up something. I just saw a video the other day of a dog who ate $4,000. Now, I don't know how has $4,000 lying around, but these people have $4,000. I just was reading the comments or reading it. I didn't watch the whole video, but they went through the dog's poop to find the pieces of money to clean them. And apparently the bank exchanged whatever they could exchange. But don't wait for your dog to mess up to then put in a boundary. Put in the boundaries and then slowly open up once they know the boundary. When I leave for work, two of my little dogs go in their kennel. I just say kennel, they go in their kennel, whether they're in there for, an hour or 6 hours or 8 hours. I don't they're just in their kennel, but I know they're safe. I know they're healthy, and I know nothing can happen to them while they're in their kennels. Where my older two dogs just lay on my bed when I'm gone. But that's all they do is lay on my bed. If they were to change that behavior and do something, at this point, they're 11 and 12 or 10 and 11, they're old. But if they were to do something like whatever it is, get into something, then they would be in a kennel too. They just don't. They know the rules. But start with the rules. Start with the boundaries. Don't wait for your dog to mess up and learn poor behaviors and then get mad and be like, why did you do that? Well, because he was left to his own accord. You never taught him what to do. So the time to teach him what to do is the day you get them. The moment you pick up that dog, you're going to set some boundaries and create the world for this dog that is a realistic world in how you live. If you get a dog and you start with a life that you don't intend to maintain, right? We're going to walk 5 miles 3 times a day, but that's only on the weekends. Then just do it, on the weekends. Don't bring it into where they think it's going to be every day. Also, dogs learn in games and patterns. So make everything a pattern, right? If you eat at a certain time, eat at a certain time. Now, I definitely now in my world, sometimes my dogs eat dinner at 4, sometimes they eat it at 2, sometimes they eat it at 9 at night. That is my world now. But when I first get a dog, I definitely try to get it on the same feeding schedule, the same potting schedule, the same routine, so they understand. Once they understand a routine is when you can start mixing that routine up. I know I just threw a lot of information at you, but I hope the takeaway of this is the day you get your dog, start teaching it what it is you want it to do so that you become predictable and it understands what the rules are. And you're not waiting for that dog to mess up and then getting frustrated with that dog. Day one, start working with your dog. Okay? I hope this helps. Love you guys and happy freaking New Year. 2024, I mean, I think every year we're like, this is going to be the year. So let's hope this is going to be the year. Right? Day you get it. Start training it. Love you guys. Take care.